His ID was run through their system, and that is when they found out that there were warrants out for his arrest. Now, our photographer tells me he was already in handcuffs when he fled, pushed through a crowd of people, pushed through officers out the door, hitting our reporter. In the last 10 minutes, we watched police officers leave the scene here at Boston and Oliver. But for the last 2 hours, they had Boston completely closed off to traffic. Multiple law enforcement agencies are still here trying to piece together what happened. I want to show you down this way that gray truck, if you can see in the distance. Witnesses tell me that that was the undersheriff's vehicle. He was pulling over the suspect when this all happened. We now know that he was shot in the neck. I also want to show you something we've been telling you about all morning, and that's downed power lines. Right here is a perfect example of that. A power line that is crossed over into the road. This is a dangerous situation. This is what you want to avoid because these could still be hot. That could be causing some decreased visibility for any drivers. I want to show you next to me a line of semis. They are in for the night. Drivers here told me that they parked it as early as this afternoon once they realized their trucks just couldn't handle the slick roads anymore. This giant tree completely uprooted from the ground, and you can see it's on its side and it's taller than I am, and this is the kind of thing that we've been seeing throughout the area. Police have now arrested a man in connection to last weekend's deadly shooting at a bar in southeast Wichita. 42-year-old David Presley is accused of second-degree murder in the death of Demario Cooks. He was booked into the Sedgwick County Jail late last night. 14 U.S. service members have been killed in combat-related incidents in Afghanistan this year. That's the most in 5 years. Well, there's an eye-popping problem back home in Salina. Police are investigating a vehicle burglary where someone stole 173 pairs of eyeglasses. The theft happened sometime between Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. The frames belonged to Kinmark Eyewear. Two police departments more than 150 miles away want to know if the same person is robbing their Islamic centers. Another beautiful fall night outside tonight. Meteorologist Kat Taylor is here with what we might be expecting overnight tonight. Kat. Just moments ago, the KBI cleared the scene behind me. It's been a long night for investigators as they've worked to comb through evidence and piece together what they believe to have happened this afternoon. We now know that a 71-year-old woman and her 28-year-old step-grandson are now dead. We spoke with neighbors who have known the family for years. They're shocked, confused, and devastated.
I was completely speechless that this would ever happen to begin with.
Jenna Reed was home when police flooded Harold Avenue Wednesday afternoon.
You know, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if they were looking for somebody who robbed any of my neighbors. You know, I didn't even think Linda was involved.
What she didn't know was that her best friend in the neighborhood, 71-year-old Linda Cromer, had been killed.
I tried to call her to ask if she was okay, and she didn't answer.
The KBI says Salina police responded to the house after a family member called 911. Believing someone inside was injured.
They discovered a 71-year-old female who was deceased on the main level of the house.
Police continued to search the home and found 28-year-old Jeremy Connolly armed with a knife. They tried to get him to drop the weapon, but he didn't. That's when a confrontation happened, and two Salina police officers shot Connolly. He was taken to the hospital, but died.
It's very scary. I never want to walk into something like that with any of my family. Ever.
Reed says Linda was the first to welcome her to the neighborhood, and they quickly became inseparable.
I always have looked at them as a second mom and dad, and they've always cooked for me, you know, took care of me, checked in on me.
Reed also wonders what possibly could have happened inside the home before Linda was killed. Questions she hopes will be answered in the coming days.
I don't think it's fully processed yet, you know, until I make a post on Facebook in a couple of days, and usually she's the first one to respond, and when she doesn't respond, it's gonna get to me.
We don't know why Linda Cromer was killed or what her relationship with her step-grandson was like. We know that no officers were killed in this shooting. The KBI says it will continue its own investigation separate from the Salina Police Department. As we continue to learn more, We will keep you updated. Live in Salina, Taylor Adams, KAKE News on your side. Park City Police want citizens to know car burglaries are all about opportunity. So before going to bed tonight, make sure everything of value is out of your car and the doors are locked. Marlo Rugg says Tuesday morning was just like any other morning. That is, until she got into her car.
Everything was strewn about and my glove box was open, my console.
She says that's when it hit her.
Uh-oh, somebody's been in my car.
Rugg left her car unlocked with her purse, cash, and credit cards all inside. But she says the only thing thieves took was the money. Park City Police Chief Phil Boston says she isn't the first victim. She's actually the 15th person to have their car broken into since just last Thursday.
It seems like people are out and about, that are up to no good are out and about doing crimes. And we see an increase usually when the weather's nicer.
Boston says in every case, the thieves didn't break any windows because they didn't have to. The cars were simply left unlocked. It can be easy to accidentally forget your valuables in your car, but it only takes one time for someone to find your unlocked door, get in, and take your things.
How did I forget to bring my purse in and make sure I locked the car? I come from a small town, so sometimes I forget.
There's a tendency to think that you're safe in your own neighborhood, but you need to take the same precautions no matter where you're at.
Boston says his message to Rugg and all of Park City is simple. Take your stuff, lock your car, and take your keys.
Double check, go ahead and do it. Take the time.
Students here at Northwest High were in shock earlier this afternoon after hearing that one of their classmates had died and 2 others were in the hospital.
When I first heard, I didn't think someone had died.
Ethan Smith is a junior at Northwest High School. One of his classmates died today and 2 others were sent to the hospital.
My teacher had started crying, and when we found out, I kind of wanted to too. I kind of shook. It scared me because you never know if the next day it's going to be you.
Monday afternoon, 3 Northwest High School students left campus. A 16-year-old was driving with a 17-year-old boy in the passenger seat and a 16-year-old girl in the back seat. They were driving down Central in West Wichita when their car collided with a gold SUV.
Juniors and seniors have open campus, so we can go out anywhere to eat. And so they must have gone out to like McDonald's or something.
The 17-year-old passenger died, and the 2 other teens had serious but non-life-threatening injuries. An 85-year-old man was driving the SUV.
The silver Honda was westbound on Central. The 2 vehicles collided at Central and Socorro. Right now, the 85-year-old male sustained minor injuries and has been taken to an area hospital.
Freshman Aiden Charlier doesn't know these classmates personally, but he feels the ripple effects of an accident hitting so close to home.
My girlfriend just said that she saw them right before they left, and then they were just gone like that.
I can't imagine how bad the parents are feeling, and I feel really bad for them.
The Northwest High School principal released this statement to students and parents, saying in part, in order to provide support for students and parents, we will have counselors available at school on Tuesday if anyone would like to talk. And police say the exact cause of this crash is still under investigation. Live in Northwest Wichita, Taylor Adams, KAKE News on your side.